I've got my audio recorder rolling, and we are live. So I'm here with Dannion Brinkley, who is going to be attending our amazing event that's completely centered around him and his amazing work. He's been on the other side of life and has been struck by lightning. Has an amazing story to tell us. Welcome, Dannion
Well,
Brinkley.
thank you very, very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you. I'm really looking forward to June 9th when you come out here to Great Spirits Ranch.
Well, I am certainly looking forward to it. You know, it's amazing when people come up with a concept, when you have such a beautiful place and such a beautiful piece of property, and then you decide to not keep it for yourself. You decide to find ways to share and let people feel the magnificence of Southern California and the beauty of Malibu. And in the course of finding a way to allow others to celebrate it, that the work is about children and helping them find their way in an extremely unbalanced world. And I'm really thankful that I was asked, and I'm really thankful to participate in helping to create a concept for kids that most people don't realize. Indigo children and crystal children and the children that are being born in this transition period that we determine have problems when it's really us who have them. And by working with these kids and by watching them and by helping them integrate into successful emotional characters, it not only serves the beauty of the ranch, the beauty of the hearts of the people who've come together to work in assist, and the children in making the world a better place. So I'm sincerely thankful for being able to participate.
Yeah, and you really tuned in on the beauty of a place like this being shared publicly with so many that events that she's having here and has had for years. I mean, to be up on 17 acres of land at the top of the Santa Monica Mountains, overlooking the Pacific Ocean and overlooking the Conejo Valley, is so beautiful. And I've been blessed to be here for a bit. Yeah, it's just so wonderful to be here every day.
Well, you can hear it in your voice. You can hear that sense of peace and understanding, and also the sense of purpose, Ken. I mean, you know, everybody's trying to find a cause, and mine happens to be hospice, because I can look at both sides of the veil. I can look toward the eventual end, but I can look back from what people call the end this way. I realize that death never happens. There is just life. And when you realize that there is just life, then what drives you and motivates you is compassionate, kind service. So when I was asked to even participate in any way that I could, there was no way, based on what I know about the next life, that I would not be helpful in this life.
Wonderful. Yeah, tell us about that. I'm excited to hear what I don't want to give away everything you're going to talk about on June 9th because we want to get people up here, but give us a little bit of taste of what you mean by what you've seen on the other side there, yeah.
Well, you start out this way, Ken. What's the number one cause of death in America?
Heart
And
attack?
the number one cause of death in America is birth. If you're breathing, you're leaving. And what mine is what death can teach you about life. Because I've been struck by lightning and dead for 28 minutes, completely paralyzed for 6 days, partially paralyzed for 7 months. It took me 2 years to learn to walk and feed myself, and I saw the other side. I've had 2 heart surgeries and brain surgery. And in the course of that, over a 22-year period, I made 2 more trips to the other side. Wow. So that led to me in my cause of compassionate caring to become a hospice volunteer. Because what most people are afraid of pain and what we call death, which is wrapped in fear, it's wrapped in heaven or hell, it's wrapped in the unknown. I have experienced it all. So what most people are afraid of, I have no fear. But I've been with 2,005 people going from this world to the next, and 422 people taking their last breath. When you've done that, you realize that there are certain common themes that people talk about in end of life. So I look at, what does death teach you about life? Because we are present now, and physics has already told us there is no other event but at the present. And if you know what 2,000 people talk about when they're preparing to leave, and the value of their life, and what we should have done, or what I did do, or why, or what, why not bring that forward and put it into your life presently today? So as you move along in this life toward the next one, you will have accomplished all of the things that really trouble most people in the end of their life. So I wrote the 3 books, Saved by the Light, At Peace in the Light, and The Secret of the Light, which was what I call the trilogy. And then I wanted to write a book called 10 Things You Need to Know Before You Go. Aspire to inspire before you expire. And Ken, what's so wonderful is everybody does just what you do. They laugh. And if I can bring forth a book about quote-unquote death, which really never happens, that can get that laugh out of people, I will have succeeded in changing their life and their attitudes, first about themselves, second about the insanity that's become so surrounded about an event that never occurs. And I can empower people. So I've written this book about what people talk about. And I watched the reaction. I was just in New York, and I watched the reaction of people when they get it. And you can watch people's lives change, because I have a question and answer session, and a lot of really wild things happen in the question and answer session, because I live in both of those worlds. There is no separation between this world to me and that other world that we call the other side. I have a foot in both of those doors. And so when people ask me questions, it's pretty amazing some of the answers that they get. Some of those I am prepared for, and some of those I am not.
Very good,
It's not the question I'm not prepared for, it's the answers that come.
Yeah, and you've gotten some answers about some big issues on society, and your workshop is going to focus on helping people understand the shift in consciousness that we're going through right now.
Yeah, and not only the shift, reinforcing of the historical point of it, the scientific point of it, and then how do you take advantage of it? If we're living in a cosmic transitional time, which quantum physics and astrophysics and are all proving and reinforcing that it is occurring, then what are you doing or not doing to benefit yourself through this transition?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a PBS special yesterday where they had scientists speculating that this might all be a hologram that's projected from a black hole that we're in.
Well, but you see, this is the exciting part about that, Ken. Listen to the theories that are coming forth. The possibilities of what science is talking about today only reinforces the evolution of where we are.
So much more imaginative than it used to be. You know?
Because they have proven that there is no such thing as physical matter. And then once you start to look around at the walls and the TV and the floor and the table, and you realize it's just protons, electrons, and neutrons vibrating at a certain frequency, and collectively have created that, it shows the power of being a co-creator, that we are truly creating this. And think this for a moment, Ken. We are made up of atoms molecules, and cells. So if you took all the empty space out of let's just take the human body. If you took all the empty space out of an atom, that would be 94.6% of the atom. If you took all the empty space out of the molecule, that would be about 96%. And if you took all the empty space out of a cell, that would be probably about 92%. So if you took all the empty space out of the atom, out of the molecule, and out of the cell of the human body, the entire population of the United States, that 307 million people, would fit in a matchbox. And once you scientifically see that, then you really have to go back and look and see who you are. And I can help people work through that. If you don't see how to change your perspective, you will never see how to take advantage of the situation in this transitional period that we have reached. We now can prove categorically that there are other dimensions. And we've created a science called the multi-universe theory, okay, where you can take something called a neutrino, you can attach a nano tag to it, watch that neutrino leave this reality, and then still reappear back into this reality. Well, where did it go? And when you start to look at this stuff from my southern hillbilly sense of humor, when you start to look at it, you get a grip on not being afraid, but being empowered to make a difference.
Yeah, I love you, man. You're like the Jeff Foxworthy guru. I just, it's awesome.
Well, I always called me the hillbilly Swami.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm like the alligator boys on the History Channel, except a tad more sophisticated. I don't kill alligators. Now, I will eat one if you have one, but I am that, and I have all my teeth. But there is a certain way that I think that who I am gives an openness to people to feel safe.
Yeah, I
There's
love.
a comfortable place about me that I understand theoretical quantum dynamics, but I also understand the compassionate last moments of a person going from this world to the next world, and the very empathetic position with their families to create comfort and help guide them through bereavement. And so, if people have lost someone, this is the program to come and be at. If you're in grief or bereavement, this program is the one to come to. And if you just need a refreshing look
Yes.
at the spiritual side of this transition and how to look at what possible futures, there are many things that I wrote about in Saved by the Light, because what made me famous, Ken, is the things that I saw when I was struck by lightning in 1975. The accuracy of those events coming into reality and some 35 years later cannot be argued with. I wrote this stuff down in 1975. I put it in a book in 1992. It has proven to be accurate.
Yeah.
And I honestly didn't know that it was prophecy, because when I had my near-death experience, it did not have a name. Raymond Moody had not written his landmark book, Life After Life, and he happened to be going to medical school at the hospital that they took me to, and he and I became fast friends. So I've been a part of the near-death experience evolution in American and world consciousness since 1975. So
Wow.
I see what has happened, and I've been a part of this. And we have to stop and get a grip on a spiritual identity of ourselves, because it is necessary to guide ourselves gracefully and successfully through this next 50 years.
Oh my goodness. Dannion, I have had a message that I only woke up about 20 months ago to this work, and I'm in my late 50s, and so I'm one of the late wakers. But I'm seeing people are waking up like just a few weeks ago, and I was told in a vision that I need to be around another 50 years. So there you go.
Well, these are guardians, but you see, what people don't realize is you come here, you choose to come, and you're chosen to come here, and you're guardians of the transition. We have 51-year cycles according to the Maya, and there are those people who will do exactly. You awoke at the exact time that you were supposed to. Okay, that's what happened. I mean, some people are enlightened. I was enlightened. So,
Yeah, and I was unconscious.
somewhere in reality, I chose to kill myself every 10 to 12 years just for entertainment value. But I don't really think I need any more near death. I just need one death experience.
Huh.
But we are guardians. We're guards the gateway to the new paradigm that is upon us.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, everything that was never done in integrity has collapsed. The stock market, the banking system, religions, everything that was not done in integrity, we have nothing but left to believe in but our identity of ourselves. And remember, that's the most important quote in what you're going to write, Ken. The only thing we have left to truly believe in is ourselves. And once we learn the art of believing in ourselves as spiritual beings, we take back control of ourselves, our neighborhood, our cities, our counties, our state, our country, and our influence in the world. And this is a necessity. It is not something that maybe we can or should do. It is something that we have to do.
Yeah, what I'm getting is that it's not just the our planet that's involved too. It's so big, it's so vast. It's like the whole universe that's being affected.
Absolutely. And I believe that the entire universe is because they've discovered dark matter. And dark matter proves unequivocally what the Hindus and the Buddhists have been saying, that we are all one. And what a silly concept that is, based on seeing ourselves as individuals and not connected to people in distant countries. But because of worldwide internet, we can watch peace or destruction in real time, instantly, on our cell phones.
Yeah.
And once that becomes the constant reality, then we're not only influencing what is happening, it is also influencing us. They've just discovered in science, because of the advancement in technology, that a scientific experiment is just as its results of a scientific experiment is as important to the results as you paying attention to it. The protocol reacts to you. And where this came from was these guys were recording a study in quantum mechanics. And it was particles, electrons, and especially positively charged photons, which is a very, very, very minute particle. In the experiment, the photons were doing exactly what they were supposed to do while they were being observed. And when the scientists walked away from it, the photons quit doing what they were observed and supposed to be doing and went about doing a bunch of other things and didn't go back to the protocol until the scientists came back to observe the experiment. And reality is only as real as we give it that power. So I want people to enjoy this life. I want them to come and be of service and to develop compassion, because the most important thing that I've learned about life and the near-death experience is the panoramic life review.
Oh,
Everybody at one point in their life is going to see Their whole life passed before them in a 360-degree panorama.
My goodness.
And they will have missed nothing. And then they're going to watch their life from a second-person point of view, as if they were their own best friend, to see the choices that they are making. And then they're going to literally become every person they've encountered, and they're going to feel the direct results of their interaction between them and every person they ever met. That teaches you that it's not what you're doing, it's why you're doing it. So much of what my program is about is to help create revalued concepts on why you're doing it, what your intention is. And the bottom line is, when you look for the meaning of life, in the panoramic life review, which everybody has one, it'll come down to this. If God could not come today, or if what you term divine could not come today, and it sent you, in the life you just lived, what difference did the divine make? Well, in what's happening at the ranch, and what's happening with the kindness of everyone coming together to do this kind of work, if the divine couldn't come today, and the divine had sent Deborah and had sent all the people who are working and constructively trying to create a place where children find balance in their own lives, then that difference is a magnificent difference. And I would not for one moment not participate, not only once, but several times, or do whatever else I can do to support this program.
Well, you're doing it right now. We thank you so much for speaking with us and sharing your amazing insights. And I'll tell you, too, when you come up to the ranch, you are going to enjoy a fabulous meal here. I mean, Deborah is like, of course, she cooks with all this amazing love and energy, and it goes into the food, and it's all organic stuff, and much of it is grown here on the ranch, and you're going to have such a good time, my friend.
I look so forward to it, but you know, if I had to bring a bag lunch, it would not matter, because I love good food. You can tell when you see me, but
yeah.
The other point of it is this: to be of service, and to find like-minded people to be of service, to help create a new world with children and their sense of self-worth and their sense of value in a world where so many of us have lost our sense of worth and our sense of value because we trusted so much of the wrong things. And, you know, we all know what each of those are. And in the course of helping these kids and being able to fundraise for them and help our own self in the process, what more could you ask of an afternoon looking at the Pacific Ocean on a beautiful ranch?
Not much more.